And you are now tuned in to My Skin is My Sin presents Intellectually Petty Radio, featuring myself, Jobs, and the plug. What's good, bruh?
Bro, what's going on, man?
Just chilling, just chilling. Let me make sure that we are live and people can hear us the whole nine. Don't have I have to check. Yeah. All right. And we are goop. Yeah, I caught myself. I was about to say that, but we are Nagash. Stop saying Gucci. Long time ago. I just had to say it that time just to kind of get people to understand what I'm saying. But we got Christopher Williams coming on the show tonight. Like that's fucking dope.
That's a fact, man. It's a blessing,
So,
yeah.
what is this? Episode 4 of Intellectually Petty? I think
You on
so.
episode 4?
I think so.
That's
You
dope.
know, yeah. Well, I'm not the best at math, so I don't know. But and I did hit up his publicist again and let her know that with the Zoom link, and what you want to do is go to MJS Hip Hop CONNEX on Instagram and follow the Queen. Make sure you do that. And I'm just checking the traps right now. I'm looking on Facebook, and I'm if you've ever watched the show, I can only do one thing at a time. I am just a man. I'm simple, and I'm unable to actually text and have a conversation. I'm sorry. I just how y'all doing out there though? And what I'm trying to do is I'm just changing, the name, and I'm gonna share the post a little bit. And for some reason, man, like it says the same thing every time we go live, and then I always have to change it every time. All right, bet. Ain't nobody watching now anyway, so we'll share it a little bit. What's going on with you, bro? How's life? Okay, I guess life sucks apparently. Since he muted me. But while I got some attention, it's a couple of things, man. Lately, and I won't even say lately, over the last month, and y'all already know, man, I can't, my mom's passed away and I had surgery. But I've been feeling compelled to
Yo, I'm
attempt
bad.
to
I'm bad. My bad, bro.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, man, like lately I've been feeling compelled to try to right wrongs. If I feel like it may even potentially wrong somebody, I've been trying to reach out to them and make good on it. You know what I'm saying? And to apologize if I need to, find out if there's anything I can do. And I don't know why. I guess it's just I'm trying to clean up my ledger, because I didn't start really thinking about death until the surgery. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that really made me want to. I don't want to
I,
get to the pearly gates and be slipping when I had the opportunity to change some shit.
I get it. I definitely understand. Um, Me personally, I think I've apologized to everyone I need to apologize to. Like, damn it, not everybody. You know what I'm saying? But like for major stuff, I've I've already, what I mean, sent my apologies out. Like, I think that's something that what I mean people should take advantage more of in life. Like, so you don't feel like what you went through. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? You
yeah,
won't have to go through that.
and not that I feel like I lived the worst life, but I know early on, especially my younger years, I'm younger, 20s and teenage years, I did some really fucked up shit. Probably from about let's see, 18 to honestly to 30. Like that was a
Yeah,
decade and some change, just really just wilding, and I don't know. Like I remember asking the question, Like if you had to, like if to get into heaven, you basically had to state your case on your life. You had to, you're your own attorney, and you have to prove that you have, earned your way into heaven. I don't know. Like if I'd have passed away last month, it's 50-50. Now, a couple of apologies is not going to undo everything, but that's why we started the show was to kind of, right some of the wrongs I've done. And I've always been like really giving to strangers and to my family, but to strangers especially because I can give and there's no expectation per se further down the line. I can just randomly give, and I think it's just better to just randomly give or randomly do for somebody. It does, it just, I don't know, it's just me. I've always kind of been that way. And it's interesting, my old lady, she's tried to tell me, I can't save the world, which I can't, but that shouldn't stop me from trying. Like if you don't make an attempt to save the world, then the world won't get better. You ask me. It'd just be the same. And right now, shit is fucked up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we definitely gonna get into some shit tomorrow, man. It's on the water cooler, which is 9 p.m. We're gonna talk about these hangings going on, these cops not showing up to work. The whole week, the COVID ain't went nowhere, and it's making a comeback. And shout out to Big Gretch, the governor of Michigan. She had niggas show up at the state house with gats,
Yeah, that's a
mad.
fact.
Yeah, but she
That's a fact.
she stuck to her guns, so to speak. Held her ground, and Michigan is looking like the best state in the union right now as far as the COVID. Which I'm all for because I got kids there, grandkids there, so I'm down with that.
Yo, did you see your boy say he made June 19th famous?
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Man, dude is just,
Bruh.
he can't help himself.
Oh
And
my
at
God,
this
bro.
point, and the sad part about it is that we are so accustomed to his stupidity that it doesn't even really register now. Like this one,
Yo, it's
people was upset about.
it's like watching an episode of Family Guy.
Oh my God. You know what
It
show is
is.
like the epitome of white privilege? Um, what is that? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You ever watch that
I've
show?
never watched that joint.
Oh
No.
my God, man. The shit that I mean, they are sexist, homophobic, racist. I mean, like they are like Family Guy with actual people.
Wow.
And all of them are Peter Griffin. Like it's I'm so dead ass, bro. I'm so serious. It's they got a it's one chick and let me see, one, two, four guys, and Danny DeVito is in it.
Right.
And the fact that they are able to put this show on television, man, it's only because they white folks, bro. Like I don't even think that
Wow.
black folks could get away with that shit like on cable at midnight. But and my bad, I know I cut you off, man. What was you about to say? Oh, he didn't. Oh, I swear, Rome with the hella mutes. He will mute you in a second, man. It's like I'm at the crib.
Yo, yo, my bad.
And hold on, man. We got the legend, singer, actor, just overall dope motherfucker, man. Christopher Williams in the building. And let me make sure he can hear us. I know I don't have you mute. Oh, okay, yeah. He's got us muted right now. So soon as he taps in, we good to go.
See,
How you
you
doing,
gotta have a
King?
good.
Christopher Williams, you there?
Yeah, I'm having some interference. Let me call right back in.
Okay. All right. And that happens,
Got gotta have a good mute game, man.
Yeah,
It's
your mute game
important.
is superb, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got plenty of experience of stopping people from hearing shit they don't need to hear.
There's nothing
You
wrong
know
with
what
that,
I'm
man.
saying?
Everything is not for everybody, bro.
Right, right. No
That's
doubt.
the big problem with social media nowadays is that people are unable. It's like they can't help themselves. And I find myself like, oh no, I can't post this.
I do
I
that
had,
sometimes
yeah,
too.
I have to check myself because not everything is a post worthy thing, and not everybody need to know certain things in your life or about your family. Like one thing I don't want to do is, and I've seen it, I don't want to put my family on the spot. And I got family members that follow me that I'm friends with. So I don't ever want to, like, if I'm having an issue with a family member, um I'm not going to name that person, or let's say we just got into an argument. I'm not going to then just post about this shit and be like, oh, so and so ain't shit. And I have seen the ugliest of ugly, man. I think I told you one time, like, I seen a dude, his old lady was cheating on him, and the dude she was cheating with was talking shit to the dude. And all of this
Oh
shit,
wow.
yeah, is on Facebook.
Uh,
And I just watched it all, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I never said that to that person. I don't think they know that I know. But yeah, I did just watch the whole thing, man. And I felt so bad for them, but I was there for it, bro. And I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it was, oh my God, it was really bad, man. And like, dude was just talking shit to him, like, yeah, that's why I did so and so and so and so. And like, what is your comeback from that?
like what's my man name played Chauncey in Menace?
I know you're talking. I'm not sure what his name is, but what's up?
Yo, that's how he talked to Lorenz Tate dead presidents. Facts.
Oh man, yeah, it was exactly like that, bro. Like, oh man,
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah, that's bad,
man.
man.
And it was so unnecessary. Like, if you smash into, because the one, dude that was getting cheated on, like, he was pretty much, it wasn't no, he wasn't trying to, man, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up and none of that shit. Like, to me, that's just, it is what it is. Beating that dude up or doing whatever to that dude is not gonna change the ways of your woman. Period.
Facts.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. So he pretty much was just like, it is what it is. You got this one, and like, old boy was just extra for no reason, man. I wanted to say something, and
See,
we just waiting on Christopher to call back up. My bad. Go ahead.
it depends on type of nigga you is for real. Like if you if you smash at somebody else chick, you already up. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
then if I'm already up and I get to talk shit to you, you ain't gonna do nothing. I doubled up. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what type of individual you are. Cause some dudes would just let it rock. You know what I mean? Like it ain't no big deal, it ain't nothing. Other
That shit comes
dudes,
back to haunt you too, though, bro.
it does, yo. But some people live for those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like some people live for those opportunities. So, like the opportunity like that, some dudes is not gonna let it pop, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna capitalize on that immediately. They may record it while they do it.
And see, to me, that just shows. First off, this must be your first time taking abroad. Like if you need to go
Facts.
be all extra about it, you in unfamiliar territory. You've never done it before, and for some reason,
Yeah, that's facts.
you feel like you got to spike the football and shit. You got to do a celebration dance. Now if you've done this a few times, it's like the last thing you want is extra attention. You know, because you don't know how much, you know, like when you're dealing with somebody's old lady, man, you don't know how that person is going to respond. Like they could be the corniest person on the planet prior to
And will kill you.
and will
And
kill
will
you.
kill you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know,
Absolutely.
so you plan on taking somebody's woman, or you in the process of doing that shit, man. That shit is man. That shit can be sketchy.
See, it's a difference though. Like taking and borrowing. It's two different facts though.
I mean, well, borrowing is some side nigga university shit.
Shit, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, but it happens all the time.
It does,
You know what I mean? That
unfortunately.
if you borrow a nigga girl, it's not as bad as taking. You know what I mean? Taking is heartbreak. Yeah, it's
Same
heartbreak either
shit,
way,
bro.
but it's a different degree of heartbreak.
I disagree. Borrowing is worse than taking. Because borrowing is like, here, you can have this hoe back. Like, I don't even want her. Like that just
That's what.
diminishes the value of her. Significant. I mean, the cheating diminishes it already. But the fact that you didn't even want her makes it even worse. And then if she want to come back to you after she didn't cheated and got rejected. She didn't come back to you because she loved you. She came back to you because that nigga didn't want her. That's even worse, bro.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, that is absolutely even worse. And hopefully Christopher will call back up. You know, I'll hit her up in a little bit. But he was having some technical difficulties. Christopher Williams did call up. Y'all know how this shit be. And actually, it's not us this time. You know, when I use the Zoom pretty much go off without a hitch. You know, so it's just I don't like using the Zoom because I can't do the fancy shit. And I don't know how to play songs. I know it's a way you can do all that shit, but I have not figured that out.
And guess what?
What's up?
We're not dreaming.
That was so corny. That shit was so corny.
Oh man.
Like, man, I'm glad I didn't invite nobody until now. Man, oh my goodness. Although, man, you know, I will say, man, like, and you know, I try to do my little research or whatnot. I low key want Chris. You know, like if I could go back and trade with somebody, I might trade with Christopher Williams. Like your man's been had a phenomenal life.
I'm sure.
I mean, I did not know, you know, and we'll get into it a little bit more, you know, when he calls back up. I didn't know his aunt was Ella Fitzgerald, though.
That's fire.
Yes.
That's gotta be a hell of a. He's probably got crazy stories to tell.
Man, like that's
fire,
gotta
though,
be
bro.
like, and I'm not gonna get into some, you know, I'm trying to, you know, we'll wait until he calls back up to get into some of the personal details. And this is the brother right here. So let's get him back on the line. And hopefully we got the audio, you know, the audio issues resolved. How you doing, King?
You up, brother?
We got Christopher Williams, the legend, in the building, man. How is life?
How you doing, man?
We doing all right. You a little fuzzy, but we'll roll with it, man.
I'm sorry, man. You know, this 5G, 6G thing is crazy.
Yeah, man. At least it ain't giving us the Rona like they said.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, you never know. But my name is Job, and that's my co-host, The Plug. And if you, I don't know, if you must be under 12 or completely a moron if you don't know who Christopher Williams is. So shout out to this brother, singer, actor, legend. Oh my God. I was just telling Rome, man, like if I could go back and trade lives with somebody, it might be you.
Nah, man. This is much better guy. I appreciate that, man. I had some good times though. I think, you know, I think everybody can look back in their life and be like, it's been quite a journey, and mine definitely has too, man. For sure.
I mean, well, yours is. Let's be honest, bruh. Like yours has been slightly better than the rest of us.
you, you must you must mean from the female persuasion.
Oh, oh my God! Like, oh, I wasn't even gonna go there, man. But
That kind of is like all that matters. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
what's
Like
up,
end of the
Jerome?
day,
What's up,
what's
Jerome?
good, peace, bro? Peace, bro. How you doing, man?
Peace, brother. Peace, man. Yeah, I've been good, man. I've been fortunate. I really love the ladies. I think the ladies love me back. And I just love people, man, generally. Um, it's been a great journey coming from Edenwald Projects in the Bronx. Just
wow,
having dreams as a little kid like everybody else and discovering that baseball and music might be a way out for me. And getting hurt not making it in baseball and being fortunate enough to make it in music. And then from here, my first records on the radio. I remember the first time I saw one of my pictures in a locker room in a high school. That to me then, in the '90s, that was making it. Like once you hit Soul Train and you got a
yeah.
picture on and
Oh,
right on it, and you go in high school, you go in high schools and see your pictures in all the lockers, you feel like, wow, this is kind of crazy.
oh
So
my
it's been
God.
wild. And then, going to college with Wesley Snipes and re-meeting up and doing New Jack City and just having 30 years of this, man, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bad. But I've been able to fortunately navigate a career for 30 years that I've always dreamed about. I mean, not every day has been perfect, like no job. But in chapter two, I look at the things that Charlie Wilson is doing right now and that
Hmm.
Elder Barge was close to doing, and some of the young guys that are still, doing their thing, Joe and Anthony Hamilton and Music Soul Child and all the guys, Brian McKnight, all the guys that are still holding it down, Kayvon, and just like really sing and love performing on stage, including the great new addition. And if I'm leaving anybody out, it's not on purpose. Case, I'm trying to remember my little brothers, Genuine, just all the guys that keep carrying the tradition, Carl Thomas. And I think that we get to a certain place where, you realize how fortunate you are just to be a part of the community. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to chapter two. I'm more so not writing songs as much anymore. I got a film I've been finishing up about my aunt's life, and I'm doing a tribute to the sound of Philadelphia and the music catalog of Mr. Teddy Pendergrass. So we're gonna do that with
Oh,
a live orchestra. So I'm
Ah,
trying to
oh.
do some TV and film things as well as I got a new single out someday. I don't know if MJ was able to get it to you guys or not, but
Oh,
big
well,
shout out.
it's just I'm really trash with this Zoom, so she got it to me. I just don't know how to play it.
It's all good.
So I do apologize. I'm old, bro. So this new
It's all
technology
good.
shit, man, fucks me up.
Jerome is laughing because he young.
hey, yo, the way you just admit your oldness is commendable, bro.
Hey, man, you know what? It's better than the alternative.
Death.
So
Man,
like right, it could be
yeah,
ugly. So I'll take being old, bro. This is a badge of honor. Um, you
you
remade
still
one of
young
Teddy
though, man.
Pendergrass's songs too, right?
Yeah, we remade on the Changes record. Got big shout out to Andre Harrell, rest in peace. With my time that I spent at Uptown Records, one of the things that Andre used to always say is that we were going to remake the new Marvin Teddy, which would be you. And we decided on redoing the Teddy Pendergrass song, "Come On and Go with Me," and we had a lot of fun with it. It did well, and then when we perform it live, people love it. Obviously there's the hardcore Teddy fans that are like, man, nobody should touch Teddy stuff, and part of me believes that. But if somebody should touch it, I feel it should be me.
Yo, bro, like
Okay.
I remember Teddy Pendergrass like in high school and shit. I remember Teddy Pendergrass before the accident.
Yeah,
And like you, like I listened to that joint a couple of times actually. And I was like, wow. Like if anybody got the pipes to pull that off, bro, you definitely did it. You
yeah,
did your
we're
thing on that
excited
joint.
about doing the live joint. We're trying to pull together. A lot of you may or may not remember that Teddy was first a part of a group, Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes,
Yeah.
and they had legendary
Absolutely.
songs. Just legends that the world won't get no better. Just legendary songs. So I'm trying to pull a couple of my brothers like Brian McKnight, Joe, and maybe Jaheim to we're gonna remix that little medley of Harold Melvin and freak it live in front of an orchestra.
Mm,
And then
okay.
I came into the business with
Crazy.
Stephanie Mills, blessed, put me on the road as an opening act, kind of taught me the ropes, her and Frankie Beverly. And we used to do Feel the Fire together, which was a remake of something her and Teddy did. And we would kill the audiences with this. Stephanie and Cassandra Mills orchestrated the whole thing where I would, I was the young boy coming out and I'd be like, Stephanie, sit on my lap. And the audience would just, the house would go up.
Wow.
So we would do Feel the Fire. So we're going to bring that back. And then I got two other duets that I want to do that Teddy did. And hopefully I can get either Layla and Lettucey would be great. Layla Hathaway and Lettucey
Oh
to
my
kind of share.
gosh.
So
You
we got some plans, and like I said, I wrote a movie that I'm trying to get Jill Scott to play Ella Fitzgerald in. And as soon as this Rona's over, we're gonna try to get busy.
Oh my God, man! Please, 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 bro! For the love of God, you get Jill Scott, man. Please, man, tell her to call me. Don't tell my wife, but tell Jill Scott to call me.
Yo, so what was it like touring with Frankie Beverly and Maze?
Crazy,
I did not know that. That had to be amazing.
amazing, man, amazing. Just Sony, Frankie's so cool and so regular. It's like weird when you see him turn into Frankie Beverly. Cause like
Mm,
before the dressing room, he's drinking his cognac, he talking his trash like anybody else. He's just such a cool, down to earth guy. Frankie's son was my first drummer. Big shout out to Anthony Beverly. He was the first band I ever toured with professionally. I was Frankie's son was the drummer. So I wound up doing Superfest dates with Frankie, and just amazing experience, man. It just teaches you a lot. He don't say much, but just watching him, it's like watching somebody like you know Kobe or Michael Jordan get prepared to play basketball.
Right.
You kind of in awe, but in a sense you want to absorb what you can about what makes them so great. And obviously, and Frankie, the thing about Frankie, I call him our Black Grateful Dead because
yes,
without a
facts.
record company, without radio, he did it without any of that. We grabbed it. Radio did support Frankie and play this stuff, but Frankie became great because he didn't give up. It wasn't because
Facts.
the music company seen him. And I tell people all the time, for people who are struggling with being entrepreneurs of creating a table that God can make for you where people can eat, is that it's just your belief system.
Hmm.
If he allowed them to tell him he wasn't enough or he wasn't good enough, he would have believed it. And we would have never saw Frankie Beverly. And that's the same thing. Like people are now looking at what's happening to Charlie Wilson. But if it was not for his faith in God, because before he came back, nobody was looking for him. Nobody was checking for him. Nobody was offering opportunity. But Charlie believed. And he knew God put something in him that was not ready to die. So it's just an amazing testimony to see this man at this age really living his best life instead of like a lot of people on Instagram living their best lie.
Yo, man, like that's fucking dope, man. I had questions and everything, man. Oh. I did not have like what I had to do my research, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. And like I say, you've had a phenomenal life, but Ella Fitzgerald, like, what is it like being her nephew?
Arguing about the Dodgers and the Yankees mostly. She was a Jack Robinson fan, obviously,
Okay.
and she grew up in Virginia, but spent a lot of her youth in Queens and stuff. And she just loved the Brooklyn Dodgers. And me being from the Bronx, I'm a Bronx bomb. I love the Yankees, so we had a real normal aunt nephew relationship. Obviously, as I became a teenager, around 8, 9 years old, I discovered kind of like who she was. And then obviously every year of my maturation, the
Mm-hmm.
magnitude of who she was became more and more, you know, apparent to me. But I never put the burden of getting into music on her. Actually, she didn't know I had put a record out. Her friends told her, and then she called me over and kind of like got at me a little bit. But I was like, Auntie, because again, my family is two sides of my family. They're saved and crazy.
Yo,
And
yeah, same here.
my aunt had the my aunt had to balance both, and she did a great job. And I mean, those are one of the things too. Like right now, a lot of the stories, like story of Horner and Ella Fitzgerald, as a journalist, I think we forget when windows and doors open. And I think that's been part of the demise of our people as a culture. Because as
Mm-hmm.
much as we know we're talented, we're gifted, and we're special people, We're innovators. We take lemons and make lemonade. We take pig guts and make chitlins. We have to really start to trust one another, even in our faults, and believe that we are good enough, and also count as we come to the table with solidarity, what that means in the world. Like we wait till there's death or something to say, hey, let's not do this. Let's just generally not support things that don't support us, not in hate, but in understanding. Because if you draw hate with hate, you're not going to find the solution that you're looking for. And that's one of the troubling things in the world right now. With we 498 police cases to murdering black men into history. And all of those cases together did not get more prison time than Michael Vick killing the dog. And I have nothing against dogs, but that's something to look at.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And we as a people really have to address it. That's why, no disrespect to the show, a sidebar, but it's even hard sometimes to not think about these things, especially your generation, Jerome, because you're the target right now. Older black guy, I'm still a target, but I'm an older black, I'm middle-aged, I'm a grown black guy. You're a young black man.
Me and Job literally just had this conversation before we got on there.
So it's hard for me to shuck and jive about music and things like that because, you know, like I'm trying to get the rights to the Emmett Till story right now. There's stories that need to be told that are going to come from places we don't believe they're going to come from. You know, and again, that's the way God moves. Nobody knew about Tyler Perry. They called him the Chitlin Circuit. But God, he believed that God would prepare a table that the world would eat at, and now they're eating at it. So like young men like you, Jerome, this colonialized system, man, you guys got to figure out a way to find solidarity by way of land ownership, your own agriculture. You know, the Bible says, I call you to be a mighty nation. And a nation embodies people, government, agriculture, an ecological system, and the ability to be able to provide those things. And even when you, in terms of, he was talking to the body of Christ, the body of Christ is still looking at the government, and people are still looking at the TV going, I can't believe they killed that dude.
Right.
I can't believe that. Why can't you believe it?
Right.
Shit's been happening since from day one.
This is the same country that put a white guy on a commercial in front of a White House with a white picket fence, and his wife came out with a great dress on and a picture of white milk. And he said, milk will do your body good. And milk's the worst thing in the world for the human body.
Right.
So we have to stop questioning, like, why they keep doing this? Why? It's the system. It's like trying to fix it's like trying to say, why can't two guys make a baby? It's against God's system. Absolutely. It's not me to judge it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But the fact remains is that it's against the system. It won't work because it don't work in that system.
Right. Right.
That's some real shit,
so,
bro.
You know, especially at my age, man, you know, I got 4 kids, and it's tough to look around in the world right now and see that we have come a long way, but we got so much further to go. And now it's about, you know, turning our attentions to doing different things. I know popping bottles is fun and all that kind of stuff can be fun, but man, y'all live in a time now, man, where it's like revelations, and it's like you gotta really you gotta really take heed to the time you're in and not be scared, but see opportunity and faith and what God has already put in you.
And it's interesting because we were kind of talking about, you know, just the shit that's going on now, you know, the hangings, the police, like the fucked up part about these police. I know we was gonna talk about it tomorrow, but since we own that, like you want to kill niggas so bad that when you can't, you don't show up to work. Like, how fucked up is that?
Yo, but you gotta understand the police already been compromised with the KKK. You know what I mean? Other white supremacist groups. So they're showing you who they are. I mean, that's from the system to the police officers. Like, and don't get me wrong, all cops aren't bad, but at this point, you have to draw a line because your silence is and at this point, it's condoning the action. If you're not speaking out, if you're not going against it, you're condoning it.
I don't remember the quote, but Muhammad Ali had a really dope quote about that one.
All the people in the wars of history weren't bad, but they died anyway.
Right.
The Vietnamese weren't bad. The Jews of the Holocaust weren't bad. All of them were, but they died anyway. because of the system of human nature. And we've been brought into a colonialized slavery that we sell out for money, title, or position. And that's where
Yeah.
we are. And
Yeah.
we realize that when this system shuts down, it doesn't matter if you're Oprah Winfrey, you're Tyler Perry, you might, we lose most of our superstars to trying to appease a system. Michael
Right.
Jackson's the greatest pop star in the world, and he died trying to please man,
Yeah.
which is something he did easily. And we don't want to address that. We dodge it. It's like when we go to black church, they don't preach about Daniel because they don't want to dress, they don't want to touch the food because the food is killing us. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about money, and they don't want to talk about sex because they might lose the member.
That's real shit.
They may lose the tithe.
That's real shit.
And it's nothing against the preacher himself. It's the spirit or the system, the spirit that resides in that person.
And it's, you know, it's a balancing act for the preachers. You know, like what if I go too far and I lose my flock, I won't be able to give them the rest of the nutrients that I have.
That's not true. That's not true because
You don't think so?
No, because let me explain something to you. When you have you been sent to preach, or did you go out? Did you went to be preached, or were you sent to be preached? There's a difference.
Okay.
See, when you're being called from God, you know that man can't do anything but be the flock.
Okay.
And try to bring them closer to a relationship within themselves with their creative. That's what they believe. But the values of the church won't stand on what you can produce. It'll stand on what you can produce in God for the kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
And it's and okay, people will be like, yeah, well, look at all these big churches. Yeah, this is the significance of it. We have a lot of great pastors, a lot of great churches, but we're still looking at the government. In that, we still haven't found equality. I'm gonna tell you why, because the church don't own the bottom line. The church don't own the media. They don't own no Starbucks. They don't own no casinos. They don't own no 420. They don't own any of the essential. Do you notice that when everything shut down, what stayed open? Liquor, weed,
Yep.
food.
Yeah. They was even delivering liquor to the crib.
And the church doesn't own any of that, because what happened in the midst of building church is like, okay, that's a sin. You wear that hat, that's a sin. You don't wear pants, that's a sin. You don't wear pants, that's a sin. You do this, that's a sin. If you're high, that's a sin. If you're gay, that's a sin. When do we become the judge?
That's some real shit.
And
bro.
when did man become the barometer? If it's God's telling you to do something, we become so inundated with doing the work of the church that we have forgot about the work of the Lord.
Absolutely. And he's talking right now.
I know, man. I totally got me fucked up over here, bro, because I did not anticipate this one.
He's talking.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
I totally agree.
It's funny that we went through COVID going through the resurrection, the 40 days after Jesus walked the church. When Jesus died and came back on earth, he stayed on earth for 40 days. And his purpose in doing that was transferring his power to man, to his disciples. But we don't get that.
You know,
we don't get that. Everybody's the judge. And you notice in the 40 days he walked, he called people from all over the earth. Listen, John and Peter, who were one of his main guys, when they went to the temple and the dude was sitting there begging, who had always begged at the temple, he was like, I know, he now knew they were the disciples, and he yelled out in the book of Acts. He said, listen, I know y'all got silver and gold. Give me some money. Give me some money. And they was like, silver and gold I don't have, but the power and the understanding and faith of the true and living God. And they extended their hand to get this crippled man off the ground. And because he really didn't have nothing else to believe but the fact that they were saying it anyway, he got up.
Wow.
But
so let me ask you this, bro.
Unless you have silver and gold or some kind of title or some kind of position, you don't matter.
How do you go from New Jack City to this?
We do that to each other because, again, the great Charlie Wilson, if you had said to somebody when he was going through his crack binge, can Charlie Wilson come? Now I heard that they're gonna pee out cold. And people are afraid to talk. They're afraid to be real about it. Right. But now that Charlie's singing again, making $200,000 a show, He's back in the public eye. Oh, Charlie can come over for dinner.
Right.
Nobody was trying to help him. Nobody was checking for him. Thank God his faith led him to a great woman who was like, you are a king who deserves better than this.
Yeah,
Right.
great woman will fuck around and fix your whole world. I know from experience. You know, but how do you go from New Jack City to where you at now, bruh? Like, did you wake up one day and I'm gonna change, or were you like that when you did New Jack City?
Oh, part of me was, man, but I think back then I was young and I was full of gas, obviously. And again, Stevie Wonder said it best. The only thing that's gonna conquer hate is love, man. I know when we get angry, we believe we can ball our fists up, we can cock the barrel of a gun. I hear everybody saying we got to get out and train. All that stuff is supplementary. Get your own vegetables. Get some land. Learn about alkaline in your body. Stop eating this food that they're growing all over the place and it's trash. It's pasteurized. It's destroying you. All these things are good, but without faith in something that will humble you, my small opinion is that that's the problem in the world. The spirit that resides in the world is a physical, not a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The proof in that is Donald Trump is the president. He said in 1998, I'm wealthy enough and savvy enough to become the president. All I got to do is change parties. And then he did it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You know why? Because even though people say, oh, he's a jerk, he's this, he's that, you watched his wealth. And that's why you casted that vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the wealth put him in the media. And once somebody's in the media and they play it in your eye and ear gates over and over again, you become desensitized.
Yep.
That's like sending a virgin boy to war and he sees 200 people die. Murder don't mean nothing after that.
Right.
Your eye and ear gates are now desensitized. And this is what we're becoming. Like, we're becoming a bunch of nations where it's like we go through hurt and then all the nations leading porch monkeys get on the radio and be like, we shall overcome. That ain't, to me, that ain't shit. And forgive my French, but that ain't shit.
We heard that word before, bro. You all right?
Yeah, we use it a lot.
But that's facts, though, man. Like you can't run from the truth, man. And I've said this before on the show, but last month I don't know when I had a heart attack, but I had to have heart surgery last month. And like what me and Ron were talking about was like ever since then I felt compelled to like right every wrong that I possibly can. Because I don't want to, like, I don't know if there's a heaven. It's only one way to find out. But I don't want to get there and my ledger is not as clean as I can make it. And
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I had to put that out there, man. But
listen, man, this is the good news. There's no heaven or hell that no man can put you in. And here's the greater news. What you trying to pay back is humanly beautiful, but Jesus paid that price over 2,000 years ago. So all you got to do is wake up every morning, give him the first fruit of your lips and put your best foot forward. And when you fall sideways or to the back, get up and do it again.
Man.
Because that's who we are. We're not a race of people who go out and murder people because we don't like you. We've been taught to hurt each other worse than we hurt others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what's got to stop because we're all enough. We're all good enough. I don't care if you light skin, dark. I'm so tired of hearing light skin, dark skin stuff. It's stupid.
You started it though, bro, without you knowing it.
Maybe me and Shamar Moe and Cheeky DeBarge has something to do with starting.
Right.
Because again, you look back and it's always taken all of us. When there was Harry Belafonte, there was Sidney Poitier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like for a minute it was Wesley Snipes and Michael Jordan. Now it's Obama, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. So we as a people aren't going anywhere. We innovate. That's what we do. In every shade, that's what we do. I mean, you look at like, we glorify certain people, but you look at Master P. Nobody puts his record company, unfortunately, as like the hottest records ever. But this man's a genius.
Facts. I'll give him that. We're not gonna go there, Rome. I know you want to go there, Rome.
He took everything he took everything this system gave him and he turned it around.
Yes, he did.
That's why they dog LeBron James. This is a big, beautiful, young African-looking man. Looked like he walked out the side of a building. And he's been a good father, he's been a great father, a great husband, and a great ambassador to the game. So you know all they could do is, who's better, Kobe, Michael, or him? That's all they could do to us.
Yep.
Right.
They're all
Right.
uniquely magnificent. And so is Magic Johnson, so is Wilt, so is Oscar, so is Elgin. Like Kobe said before he died, make no mistake about it. If it were not for Michael Jordan, there'd be no Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
And that's in no diss to Kobe. And it's not to pit them against each other. That's like, how could I disrespect Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, or Marvin Gaye? If it were not for them existing, I wouldn't have mixed the ingredients to the Christopher Williams Bowl.
That Changes album was fucking phenomenal too, but by the way, I'm sorry, but I didn't realize and I apologize to you right now because I did not realize the greatness of that album until last week. Like that's damn near like I won't say damn near every song. Like you put that in and you just let that ride. Like I was at the crib, like man, like I got caught up in like the hits, you know. And it, you know, like it's one thing, like if you play, you at the crib and you got your lady, you put on some Teddy Pendergrass, it's different, you know, when you put on some Christopher Williams, she's thinking about Christopher Williams. So it's a bad look for me. Cause I
man. What do you think about me, man? Hey,
but Halle Berry, man, what is she like, bro? Like
cool person, man. Beautiful, cool person. Super cool person. We're cool still, and you know she's doing her. I think she's getting ready to transition into directing mode, and she's being super focused with her fight film. And you know, we just wish each other well, man. You know, we had a moment in time a long time ago, and we still admire and respect one another. And that says a lot, especially for me, because a lot of times when people reach those heights, they look back at situations and they can say, well, you know, you didn't go as far as I did getting an Oscar, but she understands how, as a man, I've always put my pants on the same way every day, whether I got a hit record or not. So I always tell these guys, don't let these things make you, make them, you know?
So there was never a point where you was like I'm the shit?
Nah, never. And I think if you ask any,
not even with Halle Berry?
Not even with, I could say not even with a lot of better stuff.
Oh man, okay, all right, respect.
Your boy done had those things times 5, all in the same movie.
No, respect. Listen.
And no, and again, make no mistake, big shout to you know, understanding that lust is not manhood. Those were things that we fall prey to as young black men. We understand how we're made up, and there's a lot of beautiful women, but lust is not manhood. So again, I'm not saying those things those were journeys in my life and lessons I had to learn. And just speaking truthfully, obviously some of it was a lot of fun and stuff, but one thing I'm proud of, I think my mom and dad are a testament to this. I never get too high or too low. I try to always remain like that, because especially in this business, if you don't, it can really affect you. You know, and again, we've seen those things. You look and see where you know, Whitney Houston's funeral, you have Clive Davis saying, all she wanted to do was prove to me that she could make one more hit record. And I'm like, look at this little shriveled up, old crazy ass nigga, man. We talking about a human being's life.
Right.
But their greatest concern that day was keeping Bobby Brown out, because Bobby had not re-arrived yet. Now, if she had died when Bobby had got his Walker Star, New Edition was back, he'd have been in the front row of the wedding.
Yeah, that was disrespectful, man. I just thought that was just wrong.
The funeral, forgive me. And we're afraid to talk about that. We're afraid to say, how do you have the people, some of the upcoming artists need to sit back and let some of the old timers teach them how to pay homage to a life. Because maybe as great as you are, you've never done that. But because what we choose is popularity, not quality. That's why we are.
But do the older artists want to do that though?
No. That's why now we're inundated in watching images and not hearing things that stick to our ribs.
Okay.
This is why when you go back at this age, like even Jerome, you put in an Al Green record, your girl might not even know who Al Green is. She gonna feel it.
Yeah.
You put in the soundtrack
Facts.
Superfly. You put in
Ooh.
Barry White's Ecstasy, Marvin
Ooh.
Gaye's What's Going.
You
And it
gotta be
doesn't
careful with
mean
Barry
that
White though, man, because you fuck around and get married. Just saying.
yeah, and pregnant. And it doesn't mean that take anything. It doesn't take anything away from the Chris Browns and all of that. These guys are navigating what we did in a different time, and they all have a different skill set. Chris is gifted in a lot of different areas,
Right.
but all they want to deem him as is a troublemaker over one or two
Right.
mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand that. I don't
And ain't nobody
understand
getting
that.
married to a
And the
Chris
funny
Brown
thing is,
song. I'm
they
sorry.
never go on television in the morning and say, Chris Brown is a wonderful dad.
No, they don't.
Right.
No, you're right.
They'll dance
Never.
to his song. They'll play his music though. They'll play his music, but they won't give him no props.
And they'll play
They'll
his
dance to
music
his
to
music.
capitalize because they rocking with him right now. But as soon as they stop
Fact.
rocking with you, that's why you gotta remain who you are to you. Whether it's through being a believer or whatever it is that you choose to believe in. But if you put all your chips on this, you'll start signing up to die for 4 minutes, just like Michael Jackson did. The greatest entertainer, you got to think about these things, young men, deeply. The greatest entertainer to ever walk on the planet Earth was so mixed up about life that he got a doctor to risk all those years in school to break the law so he could die for 6 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever that drug did. That's deep.
That shit's crazy.
Right. That's
That's
crazy.
like we're looking around at all of this shit in America. Now y'all got me on one now. So we're looking around at all America. You're watching all these commercials. The RN profession is one of the most unemployed professions in America. And all we see on the news is how the COVID is rising. The COVID is rising, except for if we're having a riot, then there's no COVID.
Right.
If there's a riot in the streets, COVID died that day. But then the very next day that the riots die down, the COVID rises back up.
Yeah.
But this is the same media that won't report that Flint, Michigan still hasn't had their water corrected by this very same government.
Absolutely.
But we got a $2 trillion finesse in the middle of COVID, which I'm sure was finessed by Anthony Fauci, the greatest drug dealer of all time.
Talk about it.
The same crook who went to the University of North Carolina at Michael Jordan School in 2016, excuse me. And don't believe me, Google all this. 2016, he was at Chapel Hill, and he told the next president that he was going to face a pandemic. How did he know that? I know he's short, but is he Merlin the Wizard?
Pandemic.
Then if you do the due diligence on this doctor and you go back to the other doctors at Harvard and MIT, they claim this dude never innovated anything. But he's only been great at selling people viruses and vaccines. But this new vaccine is the one from Revelations that's going to be a chip in your body. And they're going to be able to alter you like they alter 5 and 6G. So like with 5G, you can take your garage. Like I can go to my garage right now and take my phone and raise it half up for the UPS man. There's 150,000 cases of indictment against the United States government. We gotta use this time, not in hate, but to really get a real platform. And let's talk about all this nasty shit.
Facts.
That's pretty much what we do, bro.
Reparations, really. Although right now, Bob Johnson's trying to work with Trump to prepare some kind of reparations, but they don't put that on the news.
Right.
They don't put that on the news.
I definitely like where this convo is going. We on the same wavelength for all that. I'm here. Yeah,
I'm definitely down for some reparations too.
This food is killing us. Get your bodies alkaline. There's a spirit in colonial slavery that even goes back to the shape of the buildings in Washington, D.C. They're all pagan. Spiritually debalement, the bottom of the bowels of spirituality. Like the kind of people that get together, the 1% of the 1% that get together and have parties where they have pedophilia for breakfast, bestiality for lunch, unadulterated homosexuality for dinner, and for dessert, we're gonna have human sacrifice. But I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid. So I'm gonna speak on it. All this galvanizing artists, I don't give a fuck about an artist like that. It's cool and all that, but we're all people too.
Yeah.
And I don't see none of us running to the front line. But when it all hits the fan, you'll have to be able to survive outside of this system, and that's gonna take God's faith. And forgive me for using profanity because that's not right either. Because again, I am a great prognosticator of words, the English language and a few other languages. But I'm still human, and I am upset about these things that are going on. There's a part of me that would like to sort of act the way they do, but that's not the right thing to do.
Right.
Because part of this healing is going to come in us. We have to repair and get, it's like one of them sayings back in the day, you say, I'm gonna find my perfect half. I'm gonna find my perfect half. If you find a chick or a guy that's a half, you ain't gonna stay together long. You better find the whole. So just as our race, we gotta get whole and healed as a race first. Then it's nothing against whites or Asians or Latins or anybody else, but we gotta get whole first.
Yeah.
And we got to understand that we can do it right now. Between all that we have, all the economy, even the porch monkeys who sell us down the road. The ones who sit there and watch us rise and kiss our ass. And as soon as there's adversity, they nail us to the cross.
Yeah.
Like when Michael Jackson died, Oprah nailed him to the cross.
Absolutely.
And I don't care who she is. We got to speak on it. Not in shade of Oprah, in correction.
Man, I was so disappointed.
One of our
man.
great kings
I've been loving
died.
Oprah for so long too, man.
Point out that he's a rapist. We ought to point out that he's a king. Especially when he was never charged of rape.
You know what? He said some things that I was uncomfortable with, but what she did was just completely unnecessary.
Listen, the result of how people were reacting, listen, I know, even into defense of my brother Snoop. Snoop, listen, I'm not a Laker fan. I'm gonna be totally honest. I ain't like Kobe. Allen Iverson was my man.
Right.
But what happened is he's so great, he gained my respect as a basketball player.
Right.
Then when I got to witness his life or hear the little, like the cross-collateralization of who I knew that he knew, I realized what a great human being he was. So forget the basketball. But even though he beat my boy, Allen Iverson, Bubba Chuck, every time we had a shot to get it was him and Kobe and that damn Laker team. But even though he did that, who would wait till a man demises in that fashion to do those things, but the spirit of adversity? And you could sugarcoat it with money and a network and all those other things. But out of the mouth, the heart speaketh. And that's why I'm speaking out of mind right now.
Man, like, bro, like I am just in awe. Like this was so not what I expected, and that's not putting you down at all, man. But wow, bro, like I'm not even gonna lie.
I deal with my whole life, man, is people think I'm just this light-skinned dude who's like, oh, I like, I'm a sex symbol. I'm handsome, dude. That's so far removed from who I am. And people who really know me would be like, look at my hair. Do I look like somebody?
Hey, bro, at least you got shit. Look at mine. Look at this.
But listen, if it starts falling out, I ain't got no problem getting with the Baldy Club. It's just but
I'm not mad at that, bro.
This phase of my career is really about, the brothers Jerome's age, man, because they're going to be the vessels to try to correct this thing.
Wait a minute, hold on, man. You acting like Rome is like 25.
Hey, yo, chill out, my nigga. Like, yo, hold on, bro. Chill out, bro.
40 then.
No, he
Nah,
ain't that old,
I'm
man.
under 40.
Yeah.
I ain't that old.
But
Nah,
I
like
mean,
we like
because again, I keep pointing out Jerome because again, he's at the age now where I know he's got to be thinking about what kind of world am I have my children in, or if I
right.
don't have children, what kind of world would I bring? What kind of world would I bring a child into?
Mhm.
Right.
And have no
Yeah.
fear, it's the
Like, I
same
got
world your
daughters.
mom brought you into.
Right.
And
Yeah,
God's
I
gonna have
got
his way,
daughters.
yo. God's gonna have his way anyway.
I'm
This
scared
is
for my
this-
grandkids, man. Like this shit is like,
This is not going down. This is why the word says the meek will inherit the earth. The
man.
rich ruler has the chance of going into heaven as the camel has the chance through the eye of a needle. All of you young
I might be
people,
all right
you
then.
need to think about this. They will lock up a black drug dealer for some kilos of cocaine, but they will advocate a white man who enslaves all people.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
So they will take my brother R. Kelly and burn him on the cross. And I don't agree with what Kells was going through, but somebody should have helped him instead of enabling him.
Fact.
A lot of people
where I
should have.
come from, me and my
A
boys don't
lot of
stand
people
around.
enabled them.
Yeah, because where I come from in the Bronx, me and my boys don't stand around and let each other touch young girls. You get your jaw cracked for that.
Right.
You get one pass to be like you tripping. Then the next time you getting a beat down, period.
Yeah,
But
you know,
because
he was the cash
he had
cow.
money and he
Yeah.
could write songs and he had people that would do things because of his gift, they just enabled it. And now
Yep.
he's taking it all. And the first person to sign up and be the porch monkey to do it is our own sisters. But then when you see pictures of our same sisters that get on the news show and you see them looking at Harvey Weinstein, they're like,
That's
oh
facts,
my
though.
God, Harvey. You mean the Harvey who was raping people?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why you don't throw him under the bus?
Good. Complexion for protection.
I can't argue with that one, bro. Not at
Who
all.
we scared of? Ourselves? Are we scared of them? Are we scared of righteousness? What are we really scared of? We scared to say the truth because you become deities to bullshit.
Now, I
As
will
soon as
say though,
somebody
man,
gets
like
$5
if we
on the
being
lunch
honest
money,
though, man, if we being
yeah, you want
honest,
to
man,
you want
R. Kelly brought a lot of that shit on himself too. Like
That's
at
why
some point,
IG,
you
I
got to
tell
grow
people
up.
all the time. All that Instagram stuff, 90% of that is living your best life. But the quote of the day is, I'm living my best life. But you're living your best life. You got people thinking they're actually selling companies on Instagram, doing this. And some people are prospering on Instagram, but it's mostly prostitution. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
Facts.
Every dude on there gets them DMs from prostitutes.
I don't. It must be the gray hair.
I definitely have.
But this is destroying the mind because, again, it's a bunch of love. Just like right now, I went around talking to young girls, and you know what? They were like 12, 13 years old. Most of them were saying, I want to be an exotic dancer.
Wow.
That's insane.
We live in a time where there's Michelle Obama, but it ain't. This is what we live in. We live in a time Michelle Obama, but the influence of stripping is over the first lady being the president.
Cardi B.
Just
Yeah,
like
no
right
disrespect
now,
to Cardi
there
B.
was a concert in the Meadowlands, and Jesus was there, and there was a concert at the Garden, and Jay-Z was there. Who you think would sell out faster?
Jay-Z.
And that's no diss to my brother. It's just who we are as a world.
Yeah.
It's who we are as a world. We're influenced by deities. There's a reason why Jesus came. He could have came in a Bentley Maybach before they even made him, but he came humble. He came to be a servant.
What if Jesus had bars though?
And even if you don't believe in him, it's funny how I run through a lot of people that don't believe in him. You go in these hospitals and you visit people going through COVID and challenges. First thing come out their mouth is, oh God.
Yeah.
God help me. Jesus saved me. So is he an ATM or is he Lord over your life?
Nobody wants to be wrong about that one when it
And
counts.
people also think that if you say God is Lord over your life, that you don't do anything wrong. You now are in this mystical holy bubble that makes you pristine and whole. No, it's a relation. Like any other relationship. It's a journey. Everything about being a believer is a journey. It's like people think you start talking sentences at 2 years old. Like when your child is 2, they don't say, "Dad, I'd like some chicken and broccoli." And give me some tiramisu on the side. No, change that. I like strawberry shortcake with some caramel drizzle. They're like, "Good, good, gaga, good, good, ga, daddy, mom." Well, that's what the spiritual language does too. So when people are laughing in church about people, oh, whatever they're speaking in tongues, that's a gift to you. You're not doing anything wrong to somebody by shunning it. You're shunning you. Because it's the same way you learn how to speak in a normal language. By practicing that, you will learn how to speak in a spiritual language. But we don't get taught those things, unfortunately. Churches, unfortunately, a lot of times become a whole bunch of show, and people will call me all kinds of things that I don't even care because it's the truth.
You know what? I've never been a religious like religion. I've never believed in religion. I didn't even want to be bothered with it up until recently. You know, like not only did I have a heart attack, but I lost my mother the same week. And my mother had found a church that was just fucking phenomenal. And to the point where I bragged on this church and not being a believer of religion, but they were just so good to their parishioners. Like the pastor called me literally earlier today. I'm talking about just to check on me because he know my mother passed a month ago. That type of shit, you know, like, and I had never come across a pastor that giving and that caring in my life, you know. So it's been a real fight within me to come to grips with there are you know, there's a religion out there that somebody actually gives a shit, and it ain't just about how much money can I make or what kind of car I got, even though I'm supposed to be, you know, selling God. And I don't know if that's the right terminology, but in essence, that's what you're doing. But yeah, the last month or so, man, I just been looking at shit differently.
That is
And your phone was breaking up a little bit there, bro.
I believe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I definitely believe that's what the business of church unfortunately has taken on. But I do believe that, you know, see, some people went to go start a church. This is the difference. You personally went to go start a church because you see the benefit in it. God sends a man to start a church. When you're sent, you're called. When you went, it was in your mind that you could start a church business. And because of who you are, what you felt could be. I've had people come up to me when I first lost my record deal and be like, "Man, you could have a big church. You know how many women would be in your church?" But I could never play with that.
Right.
If it's not sincerely something that's pulling me, just like God's pulling at you right now, Joseph. Because all he's doing is showing you a mirror of religion and faith that's good. The same way he exposed you to something bad, because when that turns in you, that's going to be a testimony. What we give to the earth is for others. Your experience affects you, but how you share it and how you deal with it affects others. And your testimony is what's going to be a blessing to somebody else.
Man, I hope so, because this shit's been horrible so far.
And the goodness of, and it's great to uplift. Again, just like we could talk about problems and the things that are dysfunctional, we should certainly uphold the things that are functioning and that are good. And that's what I was saying earlier in the conversation. We pick these lives, you know, like LeBron said it great in that commercial. It'd be nice that sometimes we could tell Black stories where they aren't about overcoming. Why we always got to overcome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if kids, all kids, white, Black, Indian, and just so you know, guys, this is the same country that gave syphilis to Native Americans. And they
Right.
took us to school and told us they were Indians. Indians are from the East.
Right.
Native Americans are the ones who own the land that we have our feet in now. So they're not Indians.
They was
So when they've
black.
been showing us these pictures of cowboys and Indians, it's another depiction of fallacious nonsense. Just like when they show pictures of Jesus with blue eyes and blonde hair. Nothing against people with blue eyes and blonde hairs, but that's not Christ.
Right.
Hmm.
If he, that's not Christ. If he's Lord of the harvest, how is he born December 25th? What grows December 25th anywhere in the earth? See, I'm just not stupid.
Right.
There's nothing growing on the earth on December 25th. So how can Jesus, which he is Lord of the harvest, but if he came in the harvest, how can his birthday be December 25th? The same way we're supposed to celebrate Thanksgiving because the day before they sold us on a slave block. So what's so thankful about that?
Shit.
Right.
Nothing. You know, but
Halloween is a pagan
black folks
holiday
don't,
that we
black folks
celebrate.
don't celebrate
They
Thanksgiving
got us,
or
they got us
Christmas,
celebrating
like, for the
pagan
religious
beliefs.
aspect though.
Halloween.
I like Halloween, man. Damn.
But I'll tell you another irony. When we go through school, they don't teach us about taxes and they don't teach us
No.
about credit.
No.
At all.
They teach us George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. And what is the significance?
Goofy shit.
They teach us Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. One, what's the significance? Two, that's a bold-faced lie.
Right.
Who are the founding fathers of this country and where the hell are the founding mothers?
Mm.
Because the God that I serve said, be fruitful and what? Multiply. And the two things that two women or two men can't do, and nothing against that. I'm not the judge of that. But the code is they can't produce.
Facts.
No matter how much money you got, you can't pull that trick.
Right.
All right, can I ask you a totally unrelated question?
Do that.
Mary J. Blige. What is it like working with her?
Magical. Mary's always been like a little sister. I haven't seen Mary in a long time, honestly, because like one thing about me, man, I've crossed paths with everybody from, like everybody. I think I was in Central Park about 3 years ago and Denzel Washington surprised me and came downstairs from his apartment and introduced me. And Denzel's so funny and cool. Like he don't remember my name is Christopher. So he get on stage and say, man, it's Chris. I've been fortunate enough from my aunt Ella Fitzgerald. I've had my cheeks pinched by Frank Sinatra. I've sat down at the piano with Count Basie. Obviously I was a part of the New Jack Swing. So being around Teddy Riley and Stanley Brown and, and all the legends of the 90s, man, Guy and just everybody, man. And then watching the guys of the 2000s, my little brothers like Dave Hollister and Genuine and Carl Thomas and Tank and all the Jamie Foxx, this talented generation of Black kings. Cisco. I mean, look, like, man, can you imagine what the choir in heaven sounds like?
Oh my God.
We are the people. This is a fight. Listen, in this country, 666 is supposed to be demonic. Read your heavenly numbers. It's melanin. This is an attack on melanin. And just for you people who are scientifically defunct, you need melanin even as a Caucasian to give birth to a baby. Yeah. Don't believe me. Read. Go read. Get off the TV. Get off Instagram. Go read.
6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6
people
electrons.
Ask me why I don't do blogs and why I don't get on and do. You got the whole world in our hands because we don't. But we still got our faith. And we still got our resilience. But that's nonsense. You want to help the whole world get in our hand? Use your money to open up the $150,000 cases against biometric warfare against every human being on earth. This ain't black against white. This is demons against human beings. This is mankind against humans. And it's an attack
Facts.
on melanin. And we happen to be melanin. Because we the people. We them boys. And we know it. We just got to start acting like it. Solidarity, united.
That's a
Even
fact.
in indifference.
That's a
Man,
fact, man.
I'm hoping to see that, bro. I really
We've
am.
had great men shot in their driveway like Mega Evers.
Yep.
Shot in their driveway. Follow the American dream. Get a house with a white picket fence so they can shoot you in front of your kids.
Yeah. Man.
Dr. Martin Luther King was so spiritual, but the only thing they wanted to depict in his story was that he cheated on his wife. I couldn't even watch that movie because they had so many underlying things about his indiscretions with his wife, which is his private life.
Facts. It's ridiculous.
But he gave his life for the betterment of all people.
I don't want to hear that, bro.
It's
Hey, yo,
taking
Martin Luther.
all these. Listen, you got to look at this freaky system, this colonialized slavery. It's taken all these years for them to honor the Clark sisters. You know why? Because they still standing in their right mind, giving glory to God, being humble, as gifted as those women are. And it's taken them all these years to talk about Madam C.J. Walker because they're triumphant Black queens. And I just got to, you shouldn't have gave me the platform. You started me now. You sit around and talk about Wakanda forever. Wakanda my ass. Y'all niggas sit and talk about Wakanda and you can't wait to go buy that hair from them damn Koreans.
Facts.
And I ain't got nothing against hair for fashion. But when you don't feel beautiful without a weave in your head, that is a spiritual attack on your melanin. Because somebody has convinced you that Vogue magazine looks better than you. It's funny now that
Let's see. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, and I'm gonna tell you why. They like sisters been rocking weaves since Egyptian times.
You're right, but this is the point I'm making. We don't own none of it.
That's true.
We don't own
agree.
none of it.
Facts.
We have to start taking care of ourselves.
Agreed. Yeah.
Have you seen the nation? And I'm not a believer in Islam. I respect Islam. I love my Muslim brothers. But do you see the Nation of Islam on the news?
Nope.
Do you know why they're called the Nation of Peace of Islam?
Man,
because they're led by believers who believe that they should have their own agriculture, not perfect men. Because I know everybody knows, well, they do this, they do. I've had pastors say that Muslims are going to hell. I've gotten debates with pastors telling me Muslims are going to hell. And that's a clear sign that you have gotten so inundated with your holiness and your title as pastor that you have become a deity to the church. And you're doing so much holy good, you can't do no earthly good.
Right.
And I had to tell this pastor, unfortunately, maybe that's why you got the same 300 members in your church since 1979.
Right, though,
I ain't
see a lot of that, though.
Years, and I got more likes than you got members.
That's some real shit.
So it's just a sad state, man. And it's just like, I see us sitting there, we pulling together. That's a beautiful thing. But as long as we asking, are we good enough? When are you guys going to do this? When are you guys going to do that? That ain't going to get it. They ain't going to get it. I don't even have time to get into casting your vote. Everybody's like, cast your vote, rock your vote. That's like two men shooting semen in each other. You ain't going to produce a baby. You casting your vote.
No. Like when you saying for the president, I get it, but we definitely need to vote for our district attorneys, our judges.
Listen, we
like the local shit matters.
How about we use the money? No, Joe, we can vote for our president, but how about we lobby the president in from funds that we have lobbied, so he represents us.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Absolutely.
Not the NRA and these other associations getting people in because they represent them. And again, when you start going back to the Bilderbees, the Rothschilds, the Illuminati, the 1% of the 1%, bro, ain't no president in history ever ran this country. Do you know there's only been one president to ever see this country's net worth? Richard Nixon. No other presidents ever even seen the supposed gold in Fort Knox.
Yeah.
So how do we know it's
he
really
just went
there?
there? I don't know if he saw this shit or not. He just went there.
Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen it?
Nah.
Nope.
Did they tell us COVID was coming? The sad part people don't realize, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I'm not really a political supporter. Will I vote to galvanize with my people? Sure. Do I think it really is totally effective? I personally don't. Because all that voting does in this system, as it felicitously casts your importance, and you will make some progress, but you will never be an equal. Because we're not a nation. We have not galvanized together and said, this is our candidate. We're not a nation. We take their candidates. And we don't even realize that Florida controls the presidency anyway. Because whenever something goes wrong, in the 50 years I've been living, they go to Florida. And Florida somehow messes the vote up. It gets stuck.
Every time.
Something happens.
Yeah. You know what we're not doing though, man? We're not raising candidates. Like what they do is like they know that they want a kid. They see a kid that's got leadership qualities in the first grade, and if they got money, they put them on a track to potentially be president. So you could at least have that shot. We ain't doing that.
Listen, our children aren't even in the schools where the presidents are selected.
Facts.
They are there, but they're not. Like, for instance, it takes a time like now for us to acknowledge the young Black men who have graduated from Harvard.
Yeah.
Why weren't we proud of them 15 years ago? Because they had convinced us that if you're Black and you go to Harvard, you're corny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're stupid to their nonsense. We actually believe them, and they've been oppressing us since 1612 in Jamestown. Not in 1776. This started in Jamestown in 1600s.
So
and it astounds me that people go, I can't believe they're still doing this. Well, what will it take?
What's gonna make you believe it then? Some shit falling out the sky?
I think people believe it, unfortunately, when it hits real close.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's getting closer because, again, when you start seeing like national basketball stars like Steven Jackson and a lot of us admire, and you realize that, man, this is his brother, his first cousin. It shouldn't take that, but it does. It starts getting closer and closer.
They can apply
like COVID hit my son Christopher.
Wow.
And his fiance Monica's family. But I had to get on the phone and remind him who he was. Like you get so inundated in this system that you forget the simplicities of who you are and whose you are. I was like, you got to get back on ginger. That corporate rhythm you're on, that's cool and all that, but that's not who you are. Everybody in this world, unfortunately, gets so systematically like, okay, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that. But when the world shut down, we were all nothing.
Right.
Isaiah 20:26 says that I am disgusted with the iniquities of the world. So go in your house and shut the doors till I'm done. No matter what we try to do, God's going to fix this anyway. But what we're doing is trying to repair a system that has been made not for us. Everything we've been taught, we got to damn near strip it.
Yeah, the system ain't broke. It's working at the way they intend.
We even go to Washington. They tried to kill my man Colin Kaepernick for being unpatriotic. Now what is he, a hero?
Right.
When Tim Tebow did exactly the same fucking thing, and he got contract after contract. I'm just putting that out there.
So now Massa is now going to make his brothers give Colin Kaepernick a job because they feel bad because they've killed. Listen, 120 Black people have died since George died.
Right.
as we're speaking. And
That's
all of this
crazy.
stuff is great. The Get Off My Neck song, all of this is great. It's beautiful.
Wait a minute. Who made it Get Off My Neck song? I ain't hear that one.
Jennifer Lewis, it
Uh,
was great too. Kudos to Jennifer Lewis, the amazing actress. I didn't know she was such a phenomenal, like she's just talented everywhere. But again, everybody's gonna put their foot forward. But I think a lot of people now are emotional, including me. We're saying what we feel and based upon the journey we've been through. But as for me and mine, life is gonna be different forever because we're living in a day and time of revelations, literally.
mhm.
And people will question the Bible a lot. But how could a man write something 2,000 years ago that's prevalent right now? It's like, how could the prophet Isaiah preach about the past, present, and future and be on key about everything? How did you get up off the bed from a heart attack? Do you really think the doctor saved you?
That's I
Let me
think it
tell you,
was a
let me give you a
combination. I
question
think it
then.
was a
Let me give you
combination of God and man. Because we got free
well,
will. So that doctor
well,
chose to
let
go
me ask you
to
something.
school.
Who do you give the credit to for your house, the tree or the wood?
I give it to the
So
tree.
let me pose a question another way. T. Jake said this really eloquently. If 55 men saw a tree, we'd all see something differently. A medical doctor is only making a prognosis as to how to heal you, because if a medical doctor was really doing it, he'd make himself live forever, but he can't. So he's making what God imparted to him under a westernized medical practitioner's license, which in Western civilization is different from European medicine or other in other continents. Because in Africa they treat the patient, they don't
Mm-hmm.
write a prescription for the condition. In America, we write, like, this was the reward my 83-year-old dad got in September. I just buried my dad. So my dad had just beat colon cancer, and the radiation weakened his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Pancreatic cancer came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to get my dad to go natural, but he's been raised in this system, was in the military, the whole nine. So he didn't want to do the 420 thing. He
Okay.
said, I'm tired. I'm just going to go in. One chemo shot, 4 days in the hospital, and one ambulance ride. My dad was dead. And the parting shot for America was, you can't, I don't think Americans realize you can't even back out of chemotherapy. Once you sign that paper, you locked in. You go to jail if you back out. You know why? Because it's
Yeah.
so much money. So $277,000 later, one ambulance ride, one chemo shot, 4 days in the hospital. And that was our parting shot.
Wow.
And this is a country who won't explain that chemo is killing people, but it's big business. And so is food. So they use both to counteract one another. So let's put
Mm.
all of these great commercials on the dummy box, because that's what's going to rear your if I put it on radio or I put it on the television, these people will go buy it. If I
Right.
hide it in a book, they won't benefit from it.
And my condolences on your loss too, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. But my dad lived a long, great life, man. He was 86 years old.
Okay.
And, I think like he just got to the point where he was like, I'm tired and I don't want to do all that stuff. And his mind couldn't receive like all the conversations about your body being the same 104 minerals that's in the dirt. And the cells, disease in the cells are basically just that, the cells are diseased, that this stuff can't exist in an alkaline environment. We're all going to die one day, but there's a quality of how you decline. When you get that
Yeah.
chemo
Yeah.
shot and it goes
Yeah.
bad, it's all bad.
Yeah. It really is. And one
But
of our
they
one of
won't
our
tell you that.
one of our viewers, she said that she got her mother out of chemo because she advocated for her.
How does she do that? That's something that she should be, discussing, because we tried and we couldn't. But my
I
dad
mean,
was in a myself in Virginia.
And since we on that, like I've been a nurse for about 30 years. Like you act, like all you gotta do is say no. Like your father would, like, if he doesn't have somebody designated to make his medical decisions, then he has to be the one, if he is of sound mind, to say no.
No, you're right. You're
problem.
right. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is, like, right now, just like you're a nurse, right? If you
Mhm.
look up your occupation, you're one of the most unemployed occupations in America. Like right now, statistically, nurses have one of the highest rates of unemployment for registered nurses. But yet, all you see on television is we need more nurses. So I'm confused. We got $2 million
I
to
don't know where
finesse
you
out
yeah,
recruiting.
I don't know where you getting that one from, bro. But they can't find enough nurses, registered nurses, licensed practical nurses. If you got nurse somewhere in your title, like I could quit a job today and go get another job today, literally. Yeah, but I'm in Ohio. I don't know how it is, like every place is not the same.
Again, my belief in this system is broken. And I know people like, yeah, you live here. I was born here. I got to live somewhere. I don't go
Yeah.
to listen. I know a guy, his daughter right now is 91 years old. She's never had a mammogram because she doesn't eat the food.
Hmm.
She doesn't prescribe to Western civilization. She's never lost a tooth. She's never had she's never had a GYN or anything. And she's 91 driving 90 minutes a day to heal other cancer patients in Baja California.
Wow.
Her dad discovered the cure to cancer. He was actually curing Michael Landon. And Hollywood pulled Michael Landon out of Baja California and back to Cedars-Sinai, where they gave him the medicine. Because this medical system is about selling dope. That's why we have commercials that say, buy this new drug. It's the hottest thing out. Now, it'll cure your liver, but your eyeball, your ear, and your neck is going to fall off.
Pretty much.
If you experience your left leg running away from you and it kicks you in your ass because you don't realize what you're taking, but take this stuff. This is why they're pulling back. Do you realize that America passed Zantac? It was on the shelf 15 years, and now they're saying they gave all these people cancer. So
Yeah.
there's a clear indication that some smart guy, because he had a title and went to some smart school, sold us dope. And that's the bottom line, just like Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci actually went on television in 1982 and said AIDS was a homosexual virus. Is that true? This is our leading specialist, leading us to the next virus. And all of the medical world are just pawns in it. No disrespect to the doctors and the nurses of the world. And some of them, with all due respect and full on veracity, want to help people.
Yeah.
But some of them have realized that in this system, it's beyond helping. You know how many nurses I've talked to have been like, listen, I was going in the hospital and everybody who died, they were just putting the cover over going, saying COVID, COVID. You know why? Because they were getting extra insurance money for every COVID victim. And all of this stuff is unbelievable. I'm sure all the stuff I'm saying is unbelievable. But if we got down to a forum where there was a fact finder in between us, it would be like, no, that's true. The same reason it's true that Flint, Michigan still has dirty water. The same reason that the victims of 9/11 are still suffering and still haven't been compensated. The same reason why Haiti and Puerto Rico have made progress, but they are still not fixed. The same reason why the people of Katrina still haven't gotten their stuff back. Because this is the world, unfortunately, that we live in.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's all about a dollar, man. They don't give a shit. And I know that, like, even like you absolutely right as far as like the medical profession. There are a lot of people that honestly, they care. But at the end of
Of
the
course
day,
they
like
do.
they
Of
sell a
course
lot
they
of
do.
bullshit.
Just like I'm saying, man, this ain't a white against black. There's beautiful whites, there's beautiful Asians, beautiful Latins, beautiful Indians, beautiful Native. There's beautiful people all over the world. Beautiful people with beautiful spirits. But I'm talking about this system. This system. This is the same system in the midst of COVID virus. We've got all this media money. There's not one national commercial saying, eat some dandelion, eat some pineapples, eat some lemons, limes, and oranges, eat some avocados. These are the 20 most alkaline. Get some iodine pills, take some kelp, drink apple cider vinegar, take all the sea moss and moringa you can take. No, this is the country that pushes watch Trump and the asshole FAUCI. Just keep watching the show, the political bull show.
You into Dr. Sebi, ain't you?
Definitely a genius, but that's why he's not here anymore. That's why Nipsey's not here anymore.
You
Yeah,
really
I said
think
it,
that, bro?
I said it. That's why Nipsey's not here anymore.
Why? Like
Nipsey got too close to Dr. Sebi. His studies led him into some awakening because he was always a woke kid anyway.
That's true.
Because any kid who starts out hustling and turns it into ownership and is trying to preach that through his music while surviving gang life and all the challenges of just being reared that way. That says something. And then he starts meeting influential people in his life. And it's funny, look at all the big stars he met, but he was most influenced, and to take nothing away from the other people that influenced him, but he was really influenced by Dr. Sebi. Because Sebi was teaching ownership, teaching him about the food he's eating, what he was molecularly made up of, the lies that had been told to him about Western civilization, medical Western civilization. No disrespect, it's a lie. It's a lie. They write a prescription before they go for healing you. That's like, it's funny. My whole life, my dad was like, oh, them drug dealers, they out there getting rich selling that cocaine. And you know what's funny? When my dad died, I looked at his prescription. And you know what they had him on?
Morphine.
Opioid. That's cocaine and heroin. They had an 83-year-old man on opioids.
They had me on fentanyl when I got out of surgery. Oh my God, man. I was a motherfucking clown on that shit.
Yeah, so it's okay for you to have fentanyl from them. They can decide how much fentanyl you want to shoot, but God forbid somebody shoots some fentanyl in themselves or they catch a drug dealer fentanyl. That's life without parole.
It's life, absolutely.
And they wanted me to push this shit in me every 6 minutes, bro. Every 6 minutes.
Because then you be a slave to it. Just like our great legend Prince. Somebody did not like him, or somebody had a different agenda, and they didn't tell him, you can get hooked on this. This is a dude who didn't even smoke weed.
Yep.
Damn. Love
So
Prince too,
they
man.
were like, we're going to clown another one of your king. We're going to have your man running around looking for these joints in his high heel boots and CVS. And that's sad. But they love when they have us in that position, because then they have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can make money off that story once you go.
But they don't want to tell the story of Madam C.J. Walker. It took them this long to talk about Harriet Tubman. They're not going to talk about Ella Fitzgerald. You know why? She ain't Billie Holiday. She didn't suffer enough.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You right about that one. Although they do got a Netflix got a whatchamacallit on Madam C.J. Walker. I watched that a couple of weeks ago. It was actually pretty dope.
100 years later, that's honorable.
Yeah. I actually liked it though.
They giving the Wayans brothers movie budgets to make movies about
goofy shit.
How to Be a Clown in Compton, or whatever the hell those movies are. And nothing against comedy. But this is like buffoonery of our culture. And we got
a responsibility as people that have become ultra successful in our community. They got a responsibility to impart some of that wisdom via the movies. You know, like Puff Daddy should, it should be required that you do something for one of our elders. You know, like a movie or a tribute, something to that effect, to keep it going so that the next generation will learn. We don't require
it. There are who are doing it. Like, I give a lot of props to Jay-Z.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jigga is Jay has really taken the blessings in his life, and I think he sees a portal for something even great. As great as he is, he might be not one of. He's definitely one of the greatest rappers of all time,
That's a
if
fact.
not the. And I know
That's a
that's an
fact.
argument. And me coming from the Bronx, I can't deem him the greatest, but he's a great rapper and he's made a great career. And I'm so proud of him because not even, with the music, whatever, but it's just like his philanthropy.
Yeah.
He's realizing that his platform is for something greater, even than what he's done already. And that's a lot.
Tupac is the GOAT, though. Just putting that out there.
But again, another thing I love about this generation with Jay-Z and LeBron, they're learning to master the mind, not just the body.
Yeah.
They're learning to master the mind. Because that's what's going to be required. Each one teaching you. And it does take people like that who have severe influence. Because a lot of times you can meet a guy from here and he says it, but you don't know him. But if Jay-Z says it, just like right now, if Michael, Prince, and Whitney were alive and they went on ABC News, like when the president breaks the news, and they just said, white people, how can you hate us? That would be revelation. Just that simple. Because think about who's saying it. They would have to look at themselves and go, wait a minute. I love Michael Jackson, Whitney, and Prince. Are they black? Are you sure they're black? Well, they're not regular blacks.
Yeah, nigga, Michael Jackson made niggas pass out, bro. Like white people love Michael Jackson.
So, everybody did.
Yeah,
but again, imagine if we had our leaders alive to say together right now in a commercial, we all need to heal. How could you hate us? How could you hate us? We are black. We are of African descent. I am Michael Jackson. And though this world tried to make me hate myself, so my skin got lighter, my hair got whiter, and people are afraid to say that because they're like, they want to go that Michael is so great that he's a deity. And unfortunately, none of us are.
Yeah.
God, we forget the gift giver and we pay attention to the gifts too much. So no matter how gifted you are, when you lose who the gift giver is, you're susceptible. Even the king of the world, Michael Jackson, even Prince Rogers Nelson, even Whitney Houston, that amazing songbird, that beautiful woman. And I just look at the debauchery of how we have to get control of that. Like it saddened me the day of Whitney's funeral to see Clive Davis and his shriveled up demonic spirit. All they cared about was keeping Bobby, her husband, who she loved, her ex-husband, out of her funeral. And disrespected my boy, like go sit in the back of the theater, like he was some crackhead or something.
Yeah, that was wrong right there. But bruh, we got 10 minutes left on the show. We're gonna have to do a part 2 of this one, man. At some point. Because this was man, like the gems dropped in this one, bro. Like I truly want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like
big shout out to Young Pharaoh, man. If any of you young people want to, incite some wisdom in yourself, and it's not for everybody, but in any knowledge, like I always say when I listen to Minister Farrakhan, it's like heaven hearing him preach or speak.
Young Pharaoh?
Young Pharaoh's gifted.
No, not Young Pharaoh. I'm talking about, for me, it's Farrakhan. But again, that's just the wisdom and divine nature that God has put in him. But I'm not a Muslim, but I'm saying this to say that I know how to chew the meat and spit out the fat for me.
Okay.
But some of you young people that are questioning, like start galvanizing with some of the young people that are not just into who's hot, who got the hottest record, who got the hottest this, because you're in a world right now where in a minute, none of that's really gonna matter. Like people go, nah, that's not gonna happen. Listen, we saying that now. Let this thing break out again. Yeah. People are losing their minds being shut down for 2 months.
Man.
Imagine if it was 2 years.
Oh my God. We'd all be crazy, bro.
And
Like,
again,
well, most
for
of us.
those you don't know, there's gonna be a time in the Bible 1,000 years. Get your wisdom on for real, y'all. So I appreciate y'all bringing me on, and I'd love to have a part two. I'm sure it's not
Oh.
what y'all expected. I am still in music. I've been doing music for 30 years. I don't act
Hey,
like
you know
y'all
what? But
understand.
we've been doing this for about 5 years, bro. Like we've been talking. If black folks talk about it, we talk about it, and we've been for our people from day one. So this was just like a fucking added bonus, bro. Like to have
Yeah,
Christopher Williams talking about some real shit. You can't beat that. Like
at
let's be,
all.
you know what I'm saying.
Thank you,
So
brother.
thank you. And wait a
Thank you,
minute,
man.
what's the name of the new song too?
Check out the new song, Someday. It's prevalent for right now. It's about love, but it's also a simulation about where we are in life. It'll soon pay off. The seed we've sown will soon pay off someday.
All right,
Check it
bet,
out.
man. And I'm gonna give what's her name my number, bro. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to give me a call.
I will. Big shout out to MJ, Rampage, and the whole crew over there. Love y'all.
Yeah, no doubt. And actually we got Rampage on coming up this Thursday, and we're gonna work on getting that part two with Christopher Williams because we we didn't even touch the music, you know.
Christopher Williams got
I'm
bars,
sorry, man.
real
Man,
life
Y'all be
bars.
good, man. I'm out.
no doubt,
Man,
man.
appreciate you, King. Peace.
Appreciate you. Peace. All right, Rome. I know you got your shout outs. What you got, bro?
Yo, big shout out to Christopher Williams, man. Big shout out to MJ too, man. Good look. I really enjoyed this show. I was surprised, and I appreciate brothers like that, man. You know what I mean? It's always good to have, great dialogue. Like we just had. But outside of that, man, shout out 300 Gangsters. Shout out Keys Development. Follow me on Instagram. Striving for Perfection _43. Holla at us tomorrow. We got the water cooler popping, man, and subscribe to the YouTube. Share our shit. Pass it on. Any and everybody you know, please. Yeah, like I said, holla at us tomorrow, man. We appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Don't forget. Oh, and we got the My Skin is My Sin t-shirts jumping off. They only $20. Go to liberationmindedmedia.com to cop you one. Shipping is free. So go support that. We need that love. Please, please, please share the shit, man. That's all. We ain't asking you for much. Share the shit. Check out the websites mrochelle.com. Don't forget to check out Black Eye Stand Radio. Jesus Christ. The Rundown with Renee, Psychopathia, Love, Logic, and Communication, Queens with Vibes, Opinions and Assholes, and the Water Cooler tomorrow at 9 p.m. We'll be right here. Other than that, man, that was fucking dope, man. Shout out to Christopher Williams.
That
Like
was
that,
fire.
yeah, completely unexpected, man. Like, like that,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was fucking dope, man. Like who gets that interview from Christopher Williams? Only us. Anyway, on that
Facts.
note, man, we out.
Peace.
Peace.